So a lot of what we cover here at Untangled, we cover from an African culture and African spiritual perspective. And a lot of times when people ask me why, I tell them there's lots of reasons. And in this lesson, you'll hear biblical reasons why, you'll hear cultural reasons why. But what I want to talk about right now is a worldview reason why. And what I mean by worldview is the dominant cultures that exist in any time help to shape the way that other people view the world. And so if you look at the time that the Bible was written, one of the most dominant cultures, one of the most dominant empires and civilizations in the entire world was found in Egypt. You also find it in Nubia. You also find it in Kush. And so for us to study Christianity, but not look at how these dominant cultures might have been influencing the way that people thought around their spirituality and around their Christianity feels silly to me. That would be like trying to study capitalism in the 21st century and saying, well, we know that the biggest advocate for it was the United States. So we're not even going to look at maybe how India thought about it or how China thought about it. When in truth, you can't really study capitalism in the 21st century without knowing how these huge economies impacted capitalism and how they viewed it. And that's what I want us to do with Christianity, is recognize that a lot of the ways that people thought at the time was influenced by the dominant empires and cultures, which at that time you would have found them in Egypt, in Nubia, in Kush, in these African areas. And so they had a huge influence on how we should understand our Christianity, the same way that the United States has a huge influence on the way that people understand Christianity today. If we're looking at a Christianity that came about before the Western world touched it, then we really have to think about how the people experiencing it would have been influenced by these strong African empires and cultures that existed at the time. And so that's a reason that a lot of what we talk about is going to be viewing Christianity from an African perspective.